Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse and the good and the bad. So like I just said, good and bad meaning the positive traits and the negative traits that your future spouse may possess. So remember to take whatever you feel is actually meant for you, actually resonates with you in this reading. Might not entirely be, the case with your future spouse. There might be things that are like tidbits here and there that are true to them, but then other parts sort of like, don't necessarily align. So I have 4 stacks for you all to choose from today. I have cards as well as stones, so you could choose either the card, the stone, whatever you feel a strong connection to. Starting over here, we have the Fool with Aura Quartz. We have the 4 of Pentacles with Clear Quartz, the 2 of Cups with Amazonite, and lastly, the Wheel of Fortune with Rose Quartz. So choose whichever stack or stacks call out to you. Multiple stacks might call out to you, maybe just one, but go with whatever your gut is, drawing you to. You can check the description box or the comment section for timestamps to skip to whichever stack or stacks called out to you so that you don't have to, scroll through the video. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're starting off here with our first stack. We have the Fool over there with that Aura Quartz. This says the Traveler. Within this tarot deck, certain cards have different names. So we have the Traveler here, but this is the Fool. We have Adventure and Potential. I've already laid out all the other cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out here. The top row, we have our tarot cards. We have the Three of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Prince of Pentacles. This would be the Page of Pentacles. Down here with our Oracle cards, we have Playfulness with Woodstock, New York, Adventure with the Silk Road in Inner Mongolia, the Outlaw, and Get Curious. So we have a big sort of assortment of different personality traits, different sort of aspects of this person. So good news is we see the Traveler coming out, the Fool coming out in that first position. So if you were drawn to that card, what we see is a fresh energy, meaning things are now left in the past. We're not seeing a spillover. And I say that because we do have the Three of Swords, and Three of Swords would represent heartbreak, like past relationships. Sometimes it's not only like a previous relationship that ended poorly or horribly. Sometimes that's mistakes that weighed very heavily on this person's mind for a long time, or it's things that maybe they couldn't accomplish, and because of that it was something that really like held them back for a significant amount of time and they had difficulty moving on from. But we see that that's over by the time that you come along, the time that you enter their life, because they're into that Knight of Cups stage. They're ready for that fresh energy. They're ready for something that's new, that's loving. I tie that into both mistakes. I don't see it as like horrible mistakes. I see it as maybe like not, like in their mind, not taking up an opportunity when it was presented to them, the first time it was presented, and they feel like they maybe set themselves back. But the right opportunity will always come back, the right timing will always come back. So I feel like they're moving through that right now. If you haven't met this person, they're also in a much better mindset when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships. So we're seeing them in the right mindset for marriage, where they weren't necessarily there before, or they were going about it in the wrong way, like maybe finding the right person or growing attached to the wrong idea of marriage. When it comes to their good traits, we have a lot of good traits. We have the Fool tying into playfulness, also with Get Curious. We also have the Ace of Wands. They're all this like excitement. They like to do fun things. They like to be more like, not necessarily always at concerts or parties or gatherings, but they do like to do things. They like to be around other people. They like to have adventure in their life. They like to do things. They like to live. That's something that's very strong, like in their heart. That's something that is like the epitome of them, just going out and doing things. It might be something small, might be something big, but we see that here is like that's something that they really love. That they're a brighter personality. They're a very, I don't feel like they're super extroverted, but I do feel like there's a bit of them that is just very vibrant. There's a glow to them. There's something that like draws you in when you see them, when you're near them. There's this really loving, almost like warmth to their personality. There's something that they can do no matter what situation you're in, no matter where you are. They're always able to lift the mood. They're always able to create some sort of happiness, some sort of flair. I think they're a little maybe outside the norm, with outlaw coming through here, as well as adventure and the Ace of Wands. Even with Woodstock here, I feel like there's somebody who maybe doesn't stick to the book. You know, they might not follow the order of everything. I don't really feel like they're an outlaw. I just feel like they have their own way of doing things. They have their own way of finding fun, their own way of living their life, and they don't really like to have like a box put around them. You know, they really do like fun, adventure, going out, doing things. I also feel like with this Princess of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, as well as the Knight of Cups, we're seeing somebody who's very like tough when it comes to things. When they want to do something, when they want to get a promotion, when they want to get their dream job, when it, you know, it comes to doing things that elevate their status, they buckle down, they do all the hard work they need to. They are very dedicated, very focused. It's a very strong-minded person. So even though we see this fun-loving side to them, we also have that reverse where they're truly like dedicated to leveling up, to getting to a better stage. So they put in all the energy they can, all the effort they can, everything that they are basically capable of doing, they will do, you know, 100%. If not, they'll do, you know, even more than 100%. They're a very true person, a very earnest person. When it comes to that top row, I do really like with this stack that we have swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, meaning we have a balance between all three or all four elements across the top row. The only issue with that is that we're seeing it in different sort of positions, where we see certain things like the Ace of Wands would be more of a hot-headed person, or somebody who's sort of quick to react, and that would be more on that, like, you know, the bad side of it. I think this person, not necessarily hot-headed or, you know, poorly tempered. I feel like they'll say stuff quickly, almost like they defend quickly without allowing things to sort of, you know, take their time or lay out before them so they truly understand the situation. And then sometimes it takes them extra long to sort of realize they were in the wrong, because we have a pentacle coming through, which is a slow a slow realization or slow movement forward. Even with that Three of Swords, right, sort of like allowing things to linger. So they might take a while to apologize. They might not see the error of their ways immediately. It might take some time for them to actually understand sort of like what they've done wrong. You might have to explain it to them and say like, hey, you know, that's not acceptable, that's not appropriate, or, you know, like, you know, maybe you need to just calm yourself down for a second. Those are things that, you know, to me are sort of signs here. Sorry, let me adjust that. Sort of signs here that would be on the bad side. I don't feel like it's strong though, because we do have a balance there. I think it's something that you know, it never gets out of hand. It never gets to a point where anybody's uncomfortable. It's just more them in their mindset. They're just one to like sort of jump into something. Maybe they get offended a little easily because they're so independent, because they have such you know, like they're doing it themselves, and they sort of feel proud about being able to do things themselves, or having moved forward so much and developed this better outlook. I feel like they're almost scared of sort of like reverting, or so, you know, like maybe possibly slipping back into that old mindset. So that's more of the bad. I don't feel like there's anything with them that would be, you know, otherwise bad about them. I think that's the only thing. It's just the way that they react sometimes can be a little too quick, a little too you know, excessive. Like they might misunderstand things a bit, and you might need to talk to them, or other people might need to talk to them. That's just part of growing. We do have a page coming through here with that apprentice, and that could be just a youthful energy. So if you're young and this person is coming in as a young energy, you're just seeing youthfulness, where they're sort of like grow out of that as they get older. Otherwise it just might be part of their you know, personality, just something that you know, is a trait with them. But I feel overall like these other more loving aspects. I've said this in several videos, but I'm gonna say it again because I always feel this way with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups to me is a soul protector. It's sort of set there. This person is sent in from a higher power, and whoever you believe in, they're sent into your life to protect your soul. You can consider it a soulmate, you can consider it a divine counterpart, but it to me is always somebody who comes through as somebody who is meant to guide your soul, protect your soul, and keep it from harm. So it's a strong personality trait within this person. I feel like that's just their only negative. Everything else seems really great about this person, and it's a fresh energy that's coming through, a very good positive energy that allows you to move forward with really great ease. And I do like that we're getting Wands. The Knight of Cup is on a horse. There's a camel here. You know, there's a group moving forward on a camel. Even here we have movement forward, and in the Outlaw we have movement forward. So I like that we're steadily moving forward, which means they're not backtracking. They're just constantly improving themselves. But that is what I'm seeing here with this first deck and that Aura Quartz. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I do hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our second stack here, we have that clear quartz with the Four of Pentacles. I've already laid out all the cards here so that it's just a little quicker for you. Go ahead and tell you what they are before we get started on this future spouse reading. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Down here we have our Oracle cards with Exuberance and the Roaring Twenties in Paris, Communication with the Oracle at Delphi in Greece, the Warrior, and then we have Play over here. So have a very interesting, very, very heavy pentacle energy here. Sometimes that comes off as stubbornness. So when it comes to the good and the bad of this spouse, the one thing that is sort of standing out to me is their stubborn energy, but I do find it good in a way because we have a counter energy with Communication as well as the Warrior. I like that the Warrior has come out because we sort of have that Capricorn energy with a sword, which combines the two, like Earth with sword. So the slowest card with the fastest card, the most you know, silent of the groups of Earth with the most talkative of air. So we sort of have a balance that's coming through that's almost like in a way negating that stubbornness through communication. So I do feel like the good thing is with this person, if you communicate with them well, if you talk to them, I do feel like they'll come around and they're not as stubborn. But we do have Four Pentacles because we have the Four of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Four of Pentacles again. Two cards. The Four of Pentacles has come out twice. That is a card that says more reserved, somebody who takes a little longer to make up their mind, a little longer to think about things, and I feel like a little longer also to sort of give up their rights. And that could be like for simple things. I don't mean like actually giving up their rights. I mean more so like say you're buying new furniture and they really want one color in particular and they don't really feel like giving it up. You know, they feel like that is the superior color, that is the only color that, you know, is the right choice. And rather than being like, okay, maybe we can meet halfway on it, they're more so like, no, we're never going to meet halfway, so it's this way or no way. But eventually they do come around, they do change their mind, and they are more of a, you know, more of a giving person than it seems like. I feel like that's just one of their traits. And I do feel like it improves over time because we have more energy coming through with Play as well as exuberance, more of excitement. Even with the Chariot, we have better energy from them. So it just might be something. Of course, this is the good and the bad. So of course there has to be something that is, you know, not good. So that would be the negative trait of this. That stubborn energy, less likely to change. Probably somebody who does like to stay at home. Even though we have exuberance, this might actually just clue into somebody who prefers a certain friend group. So if you're the type that likes to go out, socialize, they might be less likely to do so with that card. Now when it comes to the good, we see a lot of great cards coming out. I love when Pentacles comes out for the good because we see stability, we see longevity, we see somebody who's truly dedicated and like they're not going anywhere. That's the best thing about a pentacle, is they're in it for the long term. They really are like the least likely to back away to change things because of that stubborn nature, obviously. But there's somebody who works very hard to get what they have, to build up their surroundings, to get this happiness. And we do see very almost like constructed surroundings within all of these, and it feels to me like there's somebody who has their lives put together, or at least a clear plan on where it is that they're going, you know, what they want in the future. We see a good career, a good job, a good education, a good mindset, all about permanence. So they're not like, you know, out there dating everyone and trying to see what they like. They are like only in it to get that, you know, that spouse, that wife, that husband, whatever it is, a life partner. They are wanting that, and solely that. So when somebody doesn't come along that, you know, wants the same thing, they're like, okay, fine, you know, there's no reason for this to continue. You have to want the same thing. And that's where you come into play, because you're the one that wants that permanent. You're the one that wants that future spouse. And once they find that, then they're able to open up and be this person that you find in exuberance and play. So they might seem a little on the serious side when you meet them. They might be a little closed off, a little quiet, a little hesitant. Like you might feel a little just like, do they like you? Are they interested in you? Those might be the thoughts that come across your mind. But it's more so them just trying to figure out if you're really, you know, wanting the same thing as them, if you're in it, you know, for the same reasons they are. Because I do feel like this person has a very serious take on relationships. It's something that is very important to them. Marriage, family, building up this, you know, future with somebody else. And we see that in the Nine of Pentacles as well as the Queen of Pentacles. Those are like two succession cards. We're seeing a level up into something more. And also with the Chariot, we see a strong relationship. They will value you like you've never been valued before. They will love you like you've never been loved before. They will be attached to you, supportive of you. They will be the person that like you only imagined coming through to you in your dreams, because this is such a true dedicated person, such a great mentality, such a great ability to love. And even though we don't see a lot of like swords, we don't see cups or anything, the good thing about the Pentacles is we don't necessarily need those cards to see how they felt, because we know that with like the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, we know that they're not leaving the other person, that is their like ride or die, that is their soulmate, that is the one that they will put in continuous amount of work for just to make them happy. And that's the good thing about this person is, as you bond, you know, as this relationship grows, then they're willing to sort of, you know, sacrifice in their mind. They're willing to go out to places to have fun with you. They're willing to do things that you enjoy because they want to make you happy. And through doing things you enjoy, they're bonding with you, and it grows the relationship. So they might seem like the type of person that, you know, maybe like you like to go to concerts or music festivals and they like to stay home and do nothing. I do feel like they'll change, you know, or they'll meet you halfway just to make you happy, just so they can say like, I'm happy we did that with each other, so they can make more memories. And the good thing about the Four of Pentacles coming out twice is sometimes it's that control, you know, not wanting to give up what they have or what they've acquired. But to me, when it comes out more in a loving sense, we see somebody who's holding on to something that is of great importance, that is like irreplaceable. There's no comparison to it. So we see somebody here that has like an attachment to you that really like words cannot explain, words cannot describe. So I feel like there's a lot of good with this like core of this person, you know, like the center of this person. There's a lot of good within these cards, and the movement forward that we see a constant movement forward. I do feel like communication, you're going to be good at communicating with this person where other people are not necessarily good at. So that might be some things that like other people might have issues with, but I don't feel like you'll have major issues. I do feel like that the bad would be just that stubborn, you know, maybe not communicating well, maybe not saying what's on their mind, or, you know, less likely to change their mind, more focused on what it is they like over others. But I do feel that's more of like, you know, something that they'll sort of move away from as this relationship develops, because once you're there and once they love you, they're like, you know, willing to sacrifice a lot to make you happy. But that is what I'm seeing here with the second stack, the Four of Crystals, and that clear quartz. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Starting with our third stack here, we have that Amazonite, and we have the Two of Cups over here. This says the Two of Shells, but I think I said in the first deck, I'm not sure. This deck has a certain changes to names, and we have shells here. But this would be the Two of Cups. I've already laid out all the cards for your future spouse, and the good and the bad. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out here. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Oracle of Cups. This would be the Queen of Cups. We have Light with the Angelic Realm, Vitality with the Sun, Power, and then we have Release. These four would be our Oracle cards. So With this card, or this stack in particular, I'm getting a completely different sort of view of this person than the previous two. We had sort of like a stubborn personality. We had somebody who, you know, had just some changes about them in a previous stack. Here we're seeing somebody who had to make up their mind quite a bit, and I feel like this is probably one of their worst traits, is that they're not good with choices. They're not good with actually making up their mind. If there's a lot of options in front of them, it takes them a little while. It might be seen as like dilly-dallying. It might be something that just takes them a little longer for them to actually choose. Good thing is it doesn't come to you, because I feel like when you come through, since we do see the Two of Cups, we're not seeing any issues with choosing you or choosing to move forward with you. We're also seeing that in the Oracle of Cups or the Queen of Cups, a strong attachment to you, a strong view of you. So they know immediately what they have when you come in, a strong attachment. But when it comes to other things, I feel like any choices, anything that requires a decision to be made, they might just have you know, a slowness about them. They might be the one that's sort of like, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, give me a second to decide. And it's sort of like possibly annoying, possibly frustrating. It can be those things where you're just like, can't, you know, we don't have time, we don't all have all the time in the world to, you know, have you decide you know, where we go to eat, those things. But I do feel like with this, it's just more of a trait where it can be a sort of waste of time, only because with the Two of Pentacles we see time, and it's sort of like choose, you know, choose this one or choose this one, instead of like waiting for things to keep going. That's the only thing, is like you might have to make some decisions for them, or you might find it that you have to stress decision making in relation to time management when it comes to that, because I don't really feel like there's anything really bad about this person. With all these cards that are coming out, I actually feel like this is a very good person. We have power and release, and I think this person has really heavily worked on themselves. This future spouse has really done a lot of soul searching, a lot of reevaluation, just heavy work on who they are, to make sure that they're ready for what comes in the future, ready for this relationship. And I think that's why they see you in that Two of Cups, that complete connection. That's my soulmate card. That's my, like, the right person, the right timing. It's finally there for you. And it has all the love, all the affection of the Queen of Cups, which is somebody who is very reserved, somebody who doesn't just give their love to anyone. So I feel like when it comes to previous relationships, there's really nothing to worry about here. There's nothing that will ever compare to you, because that Queen of Cups energy coming off of them, it's like they kept that cup closed until the right person came along, and then they offered it to you. You know, they opened up that cup solely to you, because you're the only one that matches up with that. Even with the Four of Wands, Four of Wands normally would be a card of marriage, a card of celebration, a card of a community coming together to support the union of two people. So you have two cards of union coming through here, and a lot of love. I feel like heavy work has been done in this person, even with light and vitality. We have light and the sun coming out here, so a lot of brightness within this person. I don't feel like they're like the joking type, but I do feel like with this person, with the way the cards are coming out, I feel like there's a very lovely energy to them. I think there's a really great way that they look at the world, the way that they handle things, the way that they truly care about the decisions and the impact of those decisions. You know, the way that things will work out, the way things won't work out. That's sort of, to me, the way that they sort of have a very unique way of processing things. I think that might actually tie into why we see them as sort of like slower to make decisions, or when they're presented with multiple decisions, there's somebody who's a little like, you know, hesitant when it comes to actually like committing down to like going somewhere and doing something. It's that kind of issue. No commitment, you know, when it comes to you, they're like quick to commit to you, but when it comes to those other things, because like I'm not seeing bad per se, like with the other cards. That's why I'm saying this one's giving me a little bit of a different story. I'm not really seeing somebody who has negative traits, because I feel like the self-awareness is there. So it almost seems like more of like a fickle sort of issue here. It's something that's just more so like, yeah, that's annoying, but it's you know, it's not a deal breaker. It's not anything that's truly wrong with them, just their decision making, and that might be frustrating here and there. But the person that is depicted here is such a good, true person, especially with the way that these 4 cards have come out. Such a strong energy of just movement forward, enlightenment, awareness, almost like truth seeking from this person. There's such a beautiful energy from this person. You feel it. And I think when you meet this person, it's not like a question, you're not like, is this the right person? Am I really, how do I know? It's, you feel this person's energy come off of you, or come onto, like reach you. It really feels like such a really fantastic, just overall energy from this person. I think their mindset is just, it's very different. So I really do like that the way this is coming through, but I can't really say there are flaws because of their awareness. And I think if there are any issues, I think the good thing about this is they seem like the type of person that would respond well to criticism, would respond well to correction, or even acknowledgement of issues. Like you just saying like, hey, when you said this, when you did this, I had, I didn't really like that, or it made me feel this way. I feel like they're the type of person who responds well to this. They're very in touch with their emotions. We have a lot of cups coming out here. We have, what, 3 cups? So a strong attachment to their emotions. They're very concerned with how they make you feel, and they're very sensitive to that. I feel like they have a good sense of how you're feeling, what they're saying, how you're responding to what they're saying, sort of like the overall. But I feel like that with everyone, like their way of just acknowledging feelings, emotions, people, I feel like they're a truly good person. And that's what I'm saying, like good and bad. The only bad I'm seeing is that decision making. It could be little things like you want to go to McDonald's or KFC. It could be little things like that. It could be big things like what car do you want to buy, or what city do you want to live in, or they could be offered a new job, and it could be something that's much better and gives them better pay, but then they're like, but what if I leave this one and I don't like the new one? So it has that little delay of things where you're just like, just make the choice, and you'll only be able to find out one way, and that is just to make the choice and move forward. But I do really like this person's everything. They have a very good, clear soul. I think their soul is able to communicate very well. I know there's something that was like, we're all born with one complete whole soul, but here I feel like the vessel that they're in has not contaminated their soul. It seems like a very good soul, and very like well represented. But that's what I'm seeing here with this 3rd stack and that Amazonite, as well as the 2 of Cups. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our 4th stack, we have that rose quartz over there with the Wheel of Fortune. This one just says the wheel, but like I said with the previous stacks, this one, or this deck in particular, has some different names, has some changes to the names. So I've already laid out all the cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out here for your future spouse, good and bad, reading. So we have the Knight of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the Hermit, the 9 of Cups. Those are our tarot cards. Down here we have our oracle cards with planning, Machu Picchu, power with the dinosaurs in the Jurassic period, death, as well as the pillar. So got some strong energy coming through here. A lot of change, a lot of almost like pushing, moving forward. I do like that, similar to, I believe, the 1st stack. I'm not quite sure, but we have a nice balance coming off the top row. So we have air, fire, earth, and water within those cards. So we see somebody who's very well balanced, somebody who has a good head on their shoulders, somebody who's very aware of themselves. We are looking at somebody who's a little more reserved. So I did go over the good 1st stack, I believe, and then the 2nd and 3rd was more focused on the bad at first and then ending with the good. But I do want to focus on the bad quickly, and then we'll get to all the good, because the bad is actually something that I don't think is a major problem. It might seem like issues here and there, but otherwise, I feel like that's just their personality, and it's something that actually is almost like commendable about them, something that's good. So we have the Hermit coming out here, we have the Knight of Swords, and then we have planning and the Pillar. And those energies here are all sort of energies of somebody who's trying to build up something. So I feel like when you're meeting this person, when you're developing this relationship, it's a time where they're more focused on trying to really build themselves up, get the right job, develop the right future, really stabilize things in a way that you know, allows them for that like the best future possible. So it might be where you feel like they're a little work heavy, you know, they're a little more focused on things that maybe you feel like don't matter, or things that you wish they would just give you a little more time, right? But it seems like something that they're just more focused on for the time being, just because they want to really get that nice future going. Like I said, it's just more of them, their future. But when it comes to that too, it's somebody who just seems like they're doing it almost for you. Like they want to ensure that for you. They want to make sure that you get what you want to, because the Four of Wands is that card of marriage. It's that card of commitment, of two people coming together. And it's sort of like what they're doing now is all set up for the future, so that they have everything they need to be stable and to more focus on the relationship as time goes by, as you progress. So it's not more, you know, continuous hard work. They don't want to have to do all the hard work that they're doing now for, you know, the remainder of the relationship, for the rest of their lives. They don't want to have to do that and take time away from you. I think also they're a little more on the reserved side. I don't see this person as somebody who really likes to go out and interact with big groups of people. They might go to gatherings, they might go to parties, but I feel like they keep to themselves. They're more of like a wallflower, you know, somebody who stays to the edge, not really participating in the main thing. That might be something for some of you that's perfectly fine. For others of you, that might be a problem because you're somebody who's more of a social butterfly, where, you know, this person's the opposite. So those are the only issues I would see. Of course, like there has to be bad, right, and good and bad of your future spouse, but that would mainly be the bad. I feel like there's somebody who's very dedicated to their future, developing their future, getting everything stabilized, building up a savings, you know, getting their career on track to where they just feel really good about themselves, and that's all done for just ease in the future. When it comes to the good, though, we see a lot of good things. They're very committed. They're very good at communicating. We do see a good communication card with the Knight of Swords, even though we have that Hermit. We're seeing somebody who's great at communicating. Within the wheel, we do see normally all four elements as well. We would see all four fixed signs with Taurus, who's Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. We would normally see that within that card. So we have earth, fire, water, and air as that balance. And we see that across the top. So somebody who's good at communicating, somebody who is good at showing you how they feel. They're very affectionate. We have the Nine of Cups, one off from the Ten of Cups. I always feel like that's a saying, you're the completion. You're the one that brings along the Ten of Cups. When we do have that 10 over there. So I feel like it's almost like a sign for you to say that there is that 10 of Cups coming into your life. But they seem like a very loving person. I do feel like the relationship with you two, they do seem like the type of person that wants to spend more time with you solely. Like they are very committed to you, but they also just want to spend as much time with you as possible. They want to, you know, make memories with you. They want to just bond with you. They want to do things with you, and that might be where that the like not really being a social person comes through, where they rather, you know, stay at home with you, or they'd rather go out to dinner with you than, you know, go out and meet up with their friends, go out and hang out with people in larger groups. It's more so just about the two of you, and just being able to, you know, date you, love you, be your spouse. Now Death has come out, and I know Death is sitting here, and was sort of odd to me because we have the dinosaurs, which obviously died out, then we have Death, and I thought for a second, oh, that's a little bit of an odd sort of combination. But then I realized that's actually a very good combination here, because with death comes rebirth. And what we're seeing is an end to the past. So an end to previous people, previous situations, things that did not work out well for them, things that caused disruption, delay, conflict, everything. It's sort of like ending. It's out. So there, it's no longer lingering. Anything that might have been possibly a bad trait, or something that, you know, was something they weren't proud of, something that weighed on them a lot when they were younger, or, you know, like the previous years. We're seeing that it's not there anymore. We're also seeing that I feel like with this person, this deck in particular, I feel like they had relationships in the past that didn't work out, and it almost put them in a place where they were like, you know, sort of giving up on having the relationship they hoped for, and not wanting to try, almost like they weren't giving love a chance because it had messed them up so many times, or, you know, were just dramatic enough to where they just really weren't feeling it, and they didn't want to even, you know, give it another go because it wasn't going to benefit them in their mind. But here we see somebody who is gradually, but like in a good way, like in a strong way, because we're introducing the pillar, right? We're going from death to the pillar, and to go from one stage of sort of like not necessarily being in the best mindset to you know, one where they're absolutely sure on everything they want, need, desire, and they're chasing after it. We see that it's sort of signifying the end of what was negative and then the beginning of something positive, which in itself is the wheel. The wheel represents one stage ending and a new stage beginning, newness, things working out in your favor. So it's a good energy. But like I said, I don't really feel like their negative is like super negative. I feel like it's done with a good mindset, but it seems like a good person. It's just those the little things that, you know, are just more bothersome. But that's what I'm seeing here with this fourth deck and that rose quartz as well as the wheel. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.